Good morning, Steve Reed in Chicago with the morning grain comments. Grains are just a little bit lower, maybe taking some profits from the recent rally, running into some resistance, and especially in corn and wheat. And weekly export inspections for corn was only 21 million bushels. Exports to date 185 versus 242. Beans 77 million bushels, but that's down from 90 last week and 106 last year. Exports 298 versus 543 last year, and only 5 million bushels of wheat was exported last week. Exports number 348 versus 407. We could see some month-end correction from the recent rally because of the lack of new export sales announcements, and especially in corn and wheat, these lower inspections numbers. We did see that there is some more rain for the eastern Midwest. The second week has some rains for the southern plains and the eastern Midwest. USDA said that U.S. soybean harvest is 73% done versus 60 last year, and 70 average, and the rains in the west probably will slow harvest there. We did see that Brazil has got 36% of their beans planted. Their crop is estimated at that 144 million tons versus the 137 last year. And I think that conditions right now are pretty favorable. The Brazil truckers are in their second day of strike because of high fuel costs. And there was some Brazil gas stations in the southeast part of the country that ran out of gas yesterday. We also saw that the corn harvest, 66% done versus 70 last year. Also more delays in harvest because of the rains, and talk about down corn in Illinois. Brazil's first crop is 65% planted under good conditions. The Motif corn futures had traded higher. Rains are returning back to Europe, with 32% of the French harvested versus 75 average. But on the other side of the coin, Ukraine crop 32% harvested, with yield suggesting a crop over 40 million tons versus the USDA's 38. Europe and Russian prices of wheat continue to trend higher. It looks like Europe and Russian exports will start declining. Russian domestic wheat prices are higher than export prices, which limits some of the farmers selling to the export facilities. 80% of the winter wheat crop is planted here. The crop was only rated 46% good to excellent versus 41 last year. Some were estimating as high as 60% good to excellent, and the biggest drop was in the white winter crops in the Pacific Northwest. Motif wheat futures continue to test contract highs, and we noted the Baltic dry index freight's down 25% from the top, but the Panamax freight is at 11-year highs. As far as weather is concerned, again, Brazil's favorable. Argentina's getting some rains, and Russia, though, is still dry. The Dalian soybean and palm and soybean oil futures higher, while the soybean meal was lower. As always, these are my thoughts and not those of ADM Investor Services. Have a safe and profitable trading day. And remember, always treat people like you yourself would like to be treated.